Wonderful. Lex Vegas, thank you for waiting patiently. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I don't know if you got an opportunity to hear the audio or not, but if you didn't, the woman in this video essentially said that only weak men are going to take care of kids that are not theirs. Um, she said she doesn't believe. What's up, Ty? Ty, my other live just got banned, bro. I had the same topic. I was going crazy, but they banned me, bro. They ain't like what I had to say. But yeah, she said that she said it doesn't make she said it doesn't really she doesn't really think it makes sense for a man to invest his hard earned money and resources into like kids that are not his, that are not his responsibility, that are not his seed. And so as a woman, I don't know what your relationship status is. I don't know if you have kids or not, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about, men, wanting not wanting to be, but dating women that have children and assuming that stepfather role?
So I'm married. I did have a child from a previous relationship.
Hmm.
So my husband is a stepfather. Um, but we kind of our relationship was kind of ass backwards. Like, I had gotten out of an abusive relationship and moved back in with my mom. Started working. Met him at work, and I was supposed to be a one night stand for him,
Hmm.
and I've made him wait. Well, I didn't make him wait because he could have went and got it elsewhere. He didn't though. Like, we started having conversations, started hanging out. He ended up catching feelings and then stuck around. And I did that, number one, because I paid attention in health class and there's too much shit out there. But number two, I have a son, so before my son meets this man, I need to know what he's about.
Hmm.
Um so like pretty much he stepped into the stepfather role like immediately. Like once we were like officially together and they got the introduction and all that. I don't think that made him weak. Um I was young. I was 21 when I got with him. He was 24. I don't think that made him a weak person. It made him an accepting person. And he did not have to take on the responsibility of my child. He chose to. Um, he didn't have to. It wasn't his responsibility. Um, so I think I agree in that aspect. Like he had no part in creating my child, so he shouldn't have to step up. But I feel like if he wanted a relationship with me, he was going to have to accept my child at the least. Um, but now we have three kids together, so I have four kids total. Um, and we
Really quick.
Mhm.
So when you had your first child with your coworker or whatever, and
No,
uh
I was in I met a dude on MySpace.
oh, okay.
I was 16 when that happened. I was 17 when I had my first son.
Oh, okay.
And then I met my husband when I was 20, and then after I turned 21, we had got together.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I mean, even though you were very young,
Hmm.
when after you had your first child, when you were dating, I mean, you said out of your own mouth, like I said, you cared more about this man's character and his personality, because you had a child and you know that he was gonna have to be a father to your child. But were you more so trying to, like, when you were like getting back on the dating scene, were you looking for help? Were you really trying to like find a genuine connection with someone?
No,
Uh,
so I wasn't looking at all. I was not looking at all. I
mm,
was working. He showed interest. We just started talking. Like I had a whole plan. I was not looking to get into another relationship at all. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not gonna say that a man that assumes the stepfather role, a childless man that assumes the stepfather role is a weak man. But um I mean, do you think that I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, do you think that people with children should like primarily be trying to date people with children? Do you think childless people should primarily be trying to date childless people? Like, do you think there's any benefit to a man being a stepdad? Like, speak on some of those things.
Um, so it's a case by case basis. Like I don't think, just because I got kids, I should date somebody with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, because now you got a baby mama and a baby daddy you got to deal with. You see what I'm saying? Or, yeah. So like you got to deal with his baby mama, he got to deal with your baby daddy. So that just could create more mess. I don't think that people with no kids, if they don't have an issue with kids, I don't think they should have to date people with no kids. Like
Right.
if you are willing to deal with somebody that got kids, then you're willing to deal with somebody that got kids. If you don't want to deal with kids, then find you somebody that ain't got none. Like
Right.
it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, 100%. Why? But why do you think women for the women that have children but don't want to date men that have children? What do you think as a woman and as a mother yourself is are like the primary reasons for that? And I mean,
I
yeah, go ahead.
So I think it's more because they know how they interact with their baby daddy and they don't want to have to deal with that from the baby mama.
That's what I was told as well.
That's the only thing I can come up with because unless you like I don't like kids. I love my kids, but
Right.
I don't really mess with other people's kids. Like I'm like,
Right.
okay, you go back over there. Like,
Right.
but there was a point in my relationship where my husband thought he may have had a child out there somewhere. And I was like, okay, well, these are the steps we need to take to find out. And if he's yours, then we got an extra room. We'll get it set up. Once you get through all the court stuff, get your visitation, get custody, whatever it is you want to go for. That's your kid, and I'm with you, so that's my kid too. So, but nowadays it don't work that way because nowadays, like everybody's worried about everybody else. Everybody's worried about everybody's opinion of what's going on in their life when they ain't got shit to do with what's going on in your life. Like people need to stop living for everybody else and start living for yourself. That's it.
So for the woman, again, like I said, I personally believe that if you're not a divorcee, if you're not a widow, if you were just a woman that was out here being irresponsible, I think that dating should be on the back burner for these women until their children get older. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that these women that were being sexually irresponsible and having these children for these men that that they weren't in relationships with, didn't get any long-term commitment from, do you think that they like dating should still be part of their life, or do you think that they should focus more on raising kids?
Well, your kids should always be your first priority. Always, whether you're dating or married or widowed, your kids are always your first priority. And if they're not, then that's something wrong with you. And the people that you're trying to mess with should see that. If grandma's got your kids all the time, that's not a good look. It's not cute.
Right. So, but do you think, yeah, kids should always be the first priority, but I'm saying they should put dating on the back burner until them kids get older. Like, don't be out here trying to date at all. Like, if something finds you, if you bump into something, I understand, but I don't think that these women should be out here actively trying to date at all. That's what I'm saying. No, because when you were going outside and going back home and getting piped out by whoever and having his kids, you wasn't looking for love. You didn't value family and relationships. So now when you have these kids, they should get your full undivided attention. And I don't think that you should be out here trying to look for love.
Uh,
I agree too. And the reason, wait, let me bump time in. I agree too, but this is the thing. Say, for example, a single mother get in a relationship and she's finna marry a guy,
Mm-hmm.
but they said the kids come first. Kids get grown and they move out, and you
Mm-hmm.
still gotta have your mate. So eventually, that's gonna have to shift, and then your husband is gonna have to come first, or your fiance is gonna have to come first, and the kids gonna be second because of that. Because the kids are eventually they're gonna become adults and start their own families, but your mate is still gonna be there. So I kind of disagree with that.
Okay. What about you, Lex Vegas?
So I think my kids didn't ask to be here. So I think they are my number one priority. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask me to lay down with nobody and conceive them. Yes, we all hope that they grow up and they do good and they get out on their own, but that comes from you putting them as a priority. Because if you don't, they end up in the streets. They end up doing shit they're not supposed to do. They end up locked up. They end up doing dumb shit because you chose not to make them a priority.
But your partner that you're dating is going to help you raise them. So if they have both of that parental structure, they are not going to be in the streets. A woman has to learn how to balance both. They
Well,
got to
yeah,
be
there
able
has
to
to be balance
balance
to
the
everything.
children and their mate at the same time, or it's going to fall.
But if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again, you need to take a step back for a minute and just hold on.
I
Exactly.
agree. I totally agree.
But let me ask you this before I let the men talk. Both you and Miss Cutie. As even as women, when it comes to dating, don't you want to be like a top priority in the person that you're dating's life?
There needs to be interest shown, but if you have your own life, you need to live your own life still because dating is not a guarantee.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is when you're dealing with someone that has kids, um you're not going to be a top priority like in that person's life. Like their kid is always going to come before you. Like when bro, when y'all even, I don't know if you any of you have talked to like men or women that have children on the phone before, but the kid might be in the background. They might have to call
Hmm.
you back later because they got to do something pertaining to the kid. When it comes to going out on dates and stuff like that, you might that's kind of hard to do. Like they can't just get up and go travel places because the kids, like, bro, what's the benefit? Like, why even go through that stuff?
But
Noble.
that's why you need to know, like, if you're dealing with somebody with kids, you need to know that that's what it is.
No, but true story. I got a friend and she got 5 kids and she a divorcee and she dating a guy that has 2 kids and he a divorcee. She had the nerve to tell me, and I'm a realist person. I'm gonna tell the honest to God truth to people that I love. She said that she get mad because he has to have his kids extra days beyond the court appointed time. I said, how are you gonna get mad and you have 5 kids yourself? Make it make sense.
Don't get mad at him because he's seen his kids more than what a court allows. Those are his kids.
It's
Hey,
crazy.
y'all told her to go on a field trip with him. Like y'all better just go on a field trip and see how it work out.
Get a
Why
bus.
not?
Get a bus.
Someone said, Jasmine said, never date a man that makes broken homes. Right, Jasmine. Never date a woman that make broken homes either.
I was gonna say that goes both ways.
Right.
'Cause I know there's some days my husband's like, "What the fuck did I get myself into?"
Right. I don't even want to have those days. Like I want to have the days where my kids, my own seed is putting me through hell, not somebody little peanut head son Keenan. Mm-mm. No. But do you have anything else you want to say, Miss Lex?
I think everybody just kind of stop letting social media run your life and stop trying to live for everybody else. Stop living for the Instagram. Live for yourself. Have real experiences. Cause ain't nobody's life is fucking picture perfect. Stop trying to pretend like it is, and you'll be way better off.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you, Miss Lex.